Well, as some of you who have seen my recent video about deinstallation of the aluminum brake platform I built several months ago, and if not, watch that video if you're interested. In that video I also discovered that one of my tires is low in pressure. Upon closer inspection I realized that that tire has a bolt in it. I also need to rotate tires anyway, so stay with me to continue being entertained and hopefully learning something you could use in your garage or if you have a flat on the road. I happen to have two car jacks and I will use them simultaneously to lift both wheels at the same time. Good exercise, mostly tricep. So looks like wheels are clear. I don't want to lift them too far. Well, the reason I lifted car on both sides because on Toyota Sienna Hybrid 2021 the rotation of tires done on the same side, front to rear. I'm using 21mm hex socket to remove the bolts, and I have wheel lock, so I'm using the key installed in place already, using just by hand, releasing them first. So let's go ahead and look together at the problem. I saw it from outside this morning, but here's the bolt. Its holding pressure is still at 24 psi, so it's not completely flat. I got narrower set of pliers that will allow me to just wiggle it out. In fact, it looks like it's just screwed in. I probably could unscrew it. Oops, I knocked down the camera, but you hear the sound. Air escaping from this hole right here. We'll be using today this kit, which I use essentially consists of three parts. A punch/needle holder for several pieces of lug material, which is kind of vulcanized rubber. So in this position, I'm able to apply a little more and see finally it's starting to go in. I don't want to insert it completely, to insert part of it, but leave the tail off. As I'll remove it, it will actually let it go inside. And we have this pigtail, which is fine. What will happen, it'll start rotating and eventually it will wear out. You don't cut it off. And I used extra glue because it's a rubber glue, it's meant for this. The next step is just to reinflate the tire. So I'm going to be using an adapter which allows me to use my bike pump from Presta to Schroeder. And we're going to pump. It takes about 12 strokes of this pump to get about 1 psi. So again, this is a little bit of a workout, but you know what? In my own garage, I'd rather do that. Haven't had exercise today, except that dealing with the car, of course, calorie burner. So let's use pressure gauge to see what pressure. And we have 35 psi. We will put it in the back of the car. And before we do this, let's go ahead and test it for potential leaks. Could you see the site of repair right here? So I'll spray liberally soapy solution. And I don't see any bubbles. I'll reinstall the tire and tomorrow morning I'll check it again. That will be the proof that it's fully repaired. I thought I'll show you guys inside of the wheel. These are interesting wheels. See, they are black inside, but then there are silver hubs. And these hubs are essentially, you see it, it's plastic. It's a very smooth silver plastic. You cannot just pop them off and replace them or something like this. I guess maybe you can, but then you need to reglue them. But remarkably, there's very little dust coming from these brakes. Either Toyota used the brakeless pads, and that's the reason, or there's some kind of magic about the silver highly polished surface keeps them clean, because in comparison to the other vehicles I had, this stays remarkably clean. So I'm actually not complaining. I'm quite pleased. They are maybe plastic, but they look great. So let's continue with the rest of tire rotation. And the wheel is off and I'm gonna roll it to the front. I always use it as opportunity to inspect the pads, and there's obviously plenty of pad life left. There's only 13,000 plus miles, maybe 13,500 miles on this van, and the rotors are clean and smooth, so seems to be all okay. Just look at this and see. Okay, yeah, there's barely any lip. Well, that's part of the advantage of the hybrid vehicle, because When you drive in a hybrid mode and the regenerative mode fully on, fully engaged, you actually save brakes because the vehicle regenerates energy and it brakes, and less frequently the pads or rotors needs to be changed. What I found that the best is just to position it and hold it fairly tightly in place until you thread at least first lug. Once it catches, because they need to be perfectly aligned, actual studs are very short. It requires all of them be in alignment to sit on the hub. I got one, I'll do another one just by hand, and that will provide pretty much alignment. So this is the time to use my power driver. One, two, three, four, five. 5 clicks. This way you know all 5 lugs got torqued in. Okay guys, I'm not gonna bore you with showing you how I do it on the other side. It's essentially the same process. Luckily no repairs needed there. I'll just show you how I release the vehicle after the wheels are torqued. Just gently lower it down, and one jack is out, and the same here, just controlling the rotation just few degrees on the lever, releases the oil valve inside of the jack, and we are done. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, entertaining, and useful, hopefully. Let me know how you do your tire rotation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. See you next time. Cheers.